You might be holding a cup right now, or maybe you just finished one. That morning ritual, that afternoon pick-me-up, is pretty constant for a lot of us, isn't it?
It really is.
But have you ever, really stopped to think about the incredible journey that coffee in your mug has taken?
It's a fascinating thought, actually, because it's so much more than just a drink, Billions of cups.
Yeah.
Every single day, all around the world.
Billions. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Ubiquitous.
Totally ubiquitous, yeah. But its history is, well, anything but ordinary.
It's a true global phenomenon. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. A deep dive into that very story. We're going to peel back the layers of history, culture, commerce, everything that brought coffee into your daily life.
Yeah, our mission really is to trace this amazing path from its, almost mythical origins right up to the massive global presence it has today.
So expect to travel across centuries with us, across continents too.
And we'll uncover some pretty surprising facts, I think, witness some huge cultural shifts, and explore those real aha moments, the ones that turned a wild berry into the world's favorite drink.
It's quite a story behind your cup.
It really is an extraordinary one.
Okay, so let's dive in. Let's unpack this journey, starting right at the very beginning. Where do we begin?
Well, our sources point us to East Africa, specifically the ancient highlands of Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, right.
And like a lot of these foundational stories, the discovery itself is wrapped up in this wonderful legend.
Ah, the legend. I think I know this one. It involves goats, right?
It does indeed. That's the captivating part. It's centered around a goat herder named Kaldi, possibly, ages ago. You just picture him tending his flock, probably watching them pretty closely.
Okay, so Kaldi the goat herder.
Oh.
And he notices something odd.
Exactly. He sees his goats acting strangely after eating these specific berries from a particular plant.
What kind of strange? Like jittery?
Pretty much. He noticed they became unusually energetic, almost restless. Instead of calming down for the night, they were bouncing around full of this newfound energy, lively.
A herd of hyper goats. That's quite an image.
It is.
And Kaldi, being curious, didn't just shrug it off. He decided to investigate.
Right. That human curiosity kicked in. He didn't just dismiss it. He thought, okay, what's going on here? And he actually tried the berries himself.
Brave man. Or maybe just very curious. What happened?
Yeah, he felt it too. That same invigorating feeling. A new alertness. It kept him awake, focused. Just a simple personal discovery.
Wow. So that's it. The legendary first cup moment, metaphorically speaking. A goat herder, some energetic goats, and a curious observation.
That's the story. It's pointed to as the moment coffee's effects were first really noticed by humans, the spark for this whole global journey.
It really is where every single cup today sort of began. It makes you wonder about other everyday things, doesn't it? Their simple origins. So from these initial sparks in Ethiopia, how did coffee start its travels? It moved across the Red Sea next, right? The Arabian Peninsula.
That's the path, yes. A gradual spread, but deliberate. It crossed the Red Sea into Yemen, primarily, and then it started spreading throughout the wider Arabian Peninsula.
And by when was this happening?
By around the 15th century, people in that region had really adopted coffee. And crucially, they transformed it.
Transformed it how? Not just chewing the berries anymore.
Exactly. That was the big leap. They started roasting the beans, grinding them up, and then brewing them into a beverage, a proper drink.
Okay. Roasting and brewing, that's key.
Absolutely critical, moving from just a raw plant to a prepared, refined drink.
And this is where we see the first coffee houses popping up. These kavekane.
Precisely. These places, the kavekane, started appearing in big cities. Places like Mecca, Cairo, bustling centers.
Were they just like, cafes as we know them? Grab a drink, maybe chat a bit.
Oh, they were much, much more than that. That's the really fascinating part. Yes, you could get coffee, but they quickly evolved into these incredibly vibrant cultural and intellectual hubs.
Hubs? In what way?
Well, think about it. They were places for conversation, sure, but also for music, for games like chess, for sharing news, debating ideas, listening to poetry.
So kind of like community centers almost.
In a way, yeah, but with this intellectual charge, our sources describe them brilliantly as The internet cafe of the medieval world.
The internet cafe of the medieval world. I love that. It really clicks.
Doesn't it? It makes it relatable. Yeah. It shows they weren't just about relaxing, they were active places.
What kind of impact did they have then on cities like Mecca and Cairo?
A huge impact. They sort of democratized information and interaction. You'd have people from all walks of life, merchants, scholars, poets, ordinary folk gathering together.
All in one place, fueled by coffee.
Exactly. Exchanging ideas, debating philosophy, hearing the latest news. It was a public sphere opening up. This new, stimulating drink provided the perfect backdrop for new ideas to literally brew.
It wasn't just the caffeine buzz then, it was the space, the opportunity.
Precisely, the space and the social interaction it fostered. A truly profound impact from, well, a humble berry discovery.
Incredible. Okay, so coffee is thriving in these Middle Eastern hubs. Then it makes its way to Europe. Around the 17th century, is that right?
Yes. By the 17th century, it starts arriving in Europe through trade routes, Venice being a key entry point.
Now I can imagine this dark, bitter drink from a foreign land might have raised a few eyebrows, maybe some suspicion.
Absolutely it did. It wasn't exactly welcomed with open arms everywhere initially. It highlights that classic pattern, right? New things, especially from different cultures, often face apprehension.
What kind of pushback did it get?
Well, it was dark, it was bitter, it came from the Ottoman Empire, which Europe was often in conflict with. And some religious figures particularly were deeply suspicious. There were calls to ban it. Some even labeled it the bitter invention of Satan.
Wow, the bitter invention of Satan. That's quite a reputation to overcome.
It is. Give you a sense of the initial reaction.
I guess after a rough morning, some might still sympathize before their first cup, but clearly that view didn't stick.
No, not at all. Despite the skepticism, coffee's effects, that alertness, the stimulation, were just undeniable. People liked it.
The appeal was too strong.
Exactly. It gained acceptance, and surprisingly quickly, actually. Soon enough, coffeehouses started opening up in major European cities. London, Paris, Vienna. They popped up all over, and they really started changing the social scene.
And in England, they got that amazing nickname, penny universities. Tell us about that.
Ah, yes, the penny universities. Such a fantastic name. It really captures something important about them.
So for a penny, you got a coffee.
You got a coffee, yes. But the university part tells you what else you got. You were buying entry into this incredibly stimulating environment.
What did that look like? What happened in these places?
Well, these English coffeehouses became hubs where for that single penny you could sit, sip your coffee, read the latest pamphlets and news sheets, and crucially, engage in conversation with all sorts of people, intellectuals, merchants, writers, scientists.
So it's like an informal salon, but accessible to more people.
Exactly. It was a leveling space in a way, a place for lively debate, sharing knowledge, hashing out business deals, even sparking political ideas. It really speaks volumes about the era, the Enlightenment, the thirst for knowledge and discourse.
Democratizing knowledge, almost.
Very much so. It made learning and discussion accessible beyond the formal institutions. It literally fueled critical thinking and the exchange of ideas, some quite revolutionary at the time.
Just incredible. A penny for coffee and a dose of Enlightenment thinking.
Pretty much. It shows how a simple beverage place can become a catalyst for social change.
Okay, so we've tracked coffee from Ethiopia's mountains through the Middle East's vibrant Kwavakani to Europe's penny universities. It's clearly becoming hugely popular. What happens next? This must be where it really goes global, right?
Yes, this is the next major phase. Its soaring popularity, especially in Europe, fuels a much larger, more commercially driven expansion.
Driven by what exactly? Just the demand?
Fundamentally, yes. The demand was enormous. Coffee was no longer just a novelty or a drink for intellectuals. It was becoming deeply woven into the social and economic fabric of European life. People wanted it. Lots of it.
So it shifts from being mainly a cultural item to a major commodity.
Precisely. And meeting that huge demand required large-scale production. This wasn't just about trading beans anymore. It was about controlling the supply chain.
And this is where colonization really comes into the picture, isn't it?
It is. European colonial powers saw the immense economic potential here. They realized they needed to grow coffee on a massive scale, and they had colonies in parts of the world with the perfect climate.
So they started establishing plantations.
Exactly. Extensive coffee plantations were set up. Think about regions like the Kurdian Islands, large parts of South America, Brazil, and Colombia becoming huge players, and also across Southeast Asia, places like Java and Sumatra.
So this wasn't a slow, organic spread like before. This was deliberate, large-scale agriculture.
Absolutely. A conscious effort to establish coffee cultivation under European control in these colonized lands, often, sadly, with significant human and environmental costs, which is a whole other complex layer to this story.
Right. A very important point. It highlights how something we enjoy daily can have such a complex, sometimes dark, history tied to global power dynamics and trade.
It does. It transformed coffee from a regional specialty or even a European craze into a truly international product. It fundamentally reshaped economies, global trade routes, and even the physical landscapes of these regions.
Solidifying its place as a global staple, a cornerstone of international commerce.
Without a doubt.
Which brings us more or less up to today. Coffee now is, well, it's more than just a commodity or a drink. It feels like it's part of the cultural fabric everywhere, doesn't it?
It really does. It's achieved this status where it's both universal and intensely personal or local.
How has it managed that? To be global, yet feel so specific to different cultures?
I think it's down to its incredible adaptability. Coffee itself has this core appeal, but different cultures have taken it and truly made it their own. They've shaped it to fit their tastes, their rituals, their pace of life.
Can you give some examples?
Sure. Think about the Italian espresso, that quick, intense shot of energy. It's perfectly suited to a certain lifestyle, maybe standing at a bar for a moment before heading off.
Right. Very different from slowly sipping a large mug.
Exactly. Or consider Turkish coffee, often prepared in a traditional seve, maybe spiced, unfiltered. It's steeped in centuries of hospitality and social tradition. It's a whole different experience.
And then you have modern variations too.
Absolutely. Things like the flat white, which is relatively recent but has become globally popular. It shows coffee is still evolving, still being adapted. It's not static.
It's amazing how that works. For me, that morning cup, it's definitely more than just getting caffeine into my system. It's a pause, a signal.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, exactly. A daily ritual, a quiet moment, or maybe a social one. It feels like a connection to something bigger, older.
I think that's a really important point. When you lift that cup today, are you just having a drink? Or are you, in a very real way, participating in this centuries-old story we've been talking about?
Drinking history.
Quite literally, every sip connects you back to Kaldi, to the Kave Kana, to the plantations, to all the people and cultures that have shaped its journey. It's a link to millennia of human curiosity, trade, and ingenuity.
Wow. Okay, so that brings us towards the end of this deep dive. What an incredible journey coffee has taken.
It really is staggering when you lay it out.
From Kaldi's energetic goats in Ethiopia
to those buzzing Kave Kana in the Middle East.
Then the penny universities sparking ideas in Europe.
And finally, the vast global network of farms and cafes that makes it a daily habit for billions today.
From a curious goat herder to a global phenomenon.
It's a perfect example, isn't it, of how human history unfolds through curiosity, commerce, sometimes conflict, but always connection.
It's definitely a potent reminder that even the most ordinary, everyday things in our lives can carry these incredibly rich, complex histories. We often just don't think about it.
We don't. We just drink the coffee.
So as you reflect on this amazing journey of coffee, maybe think about this. What does its huge impact really teach us about how one single discovery, one plant, can fundamentally shape cultures, economies, and human interaction across the entire globe?
How it connects us all, across time and space, one cup at a time.
Exactly. And maybe look around you. What other everyday items that you use, that you rely on, hold an equally extraordinary, untold story just waiting for you to uncover it?
Something to ponder over your next cup, perhaps.
Definitely something to think about.